It's 3 a.m. and you're staring at the ceiling. Your phone is face down beside you. You told yourself you wouldn't check it. You start doing the math. 5 hours of sleep if you fall asleep right now. 4.5 if it takes 10 more minutes. You feel broken. You feel like something is wrong with you. But the real answer is far stranger. You are not broken. You are ancient. For most of human history, waking up in the middle of the night wasn't a disorder. It was the plan. Your body still remembers a rhythm you were never taught. A rhythm that came before electric light, before alarm clocks, before the pressure to sleep in one unbroken block for 8 straight hours. That pressure is new. Astonishingly new. And your ancestors would find it strange that you're lying there right now, panicking about being awake. Let's go back. Not centuries, just far enough to remember what a night actually used to look like. Historian Roger E. Kirch spent over a decade digging through diaries, court records, and medical texts from pre-industrial Europe. He found something odd repeating again and again. People wrote about a first sleep and a second sleep, not one night of rest. 2. The pattern went like this. The sun went down. Without artificial light, there wasn't much left to do. People went to bed not long after dusk. They slept for a few hours. Then, somewhere in the middle of the night, they woke up. And this waking wasn't feared. It was expected. During this quiet gap, people prayed. They talked with a spouse lying beside them in the dark. They tended a low fire. Some got up and visited neighbors. Some had sex. Some simply lay there thinking, letting their mind wander in a way that daylight never allowed. After an hour or two of this quiet middle-of-the-night wakefulness, they drifted into a second sleep that carried them until morning. Doesn't that sound familiar? That 3 a.m. wakefulness you dread. That might not be insomnia at all. It might be an inherited rhythm, quietly resurfacing in a world that no longer has any room for it. Kirch found more than 400 references to this two-part sleep pattern in historical records. It shows up in letters. It shows up in old medical advice. It shows up in the way people describe their days so casually that it clearly wasn't unusual. First sleep, then a watch, then second sleep. That was just what a night was. So what changed? Light changed. Specifically, artificial light. Before gas lamps and electric bulbs, night was dark in a way that's almost impossible to imagine now. Cities glow so brightly today that many people never see a truly black sky. But for nearly all of human history, once the sun set, the world went dark, and darkness shaped behavior. There wasn't much incentive to stay up. There also wasn't much incentive to stay asleep the entire stretch of night, because there was no reason to rush toward a single efficient sleep block. Nobody had a 7 a.m. shift to catch. The invention of cheap, reliable artificial light in the 19th century rewired the night completely. Suddenly, evenings could be extended. Suddenly, there was reading, working, socializing long after dusk. Bedtime got pushed later and later. And to still get up early enough for the demands of an industrializing world, the segmented sleep pattern got squeezed into one continuous block. Somewhere in that squeeze, the second sleep quietly disappeared. Not because bodies changed, because the world around bodies changed. Now, here's where it gets stranger. In 1990, psychiatrist Thomas Veer ran an experiment that would end up echoing Kirch's historical findings almost perfectly. Veer took a group of volunteers and put them in an environment with no artificial light, just 14 hours of darkness a night, mimicking the natural photoperiod of winter before electricity. At first, the volunteers slept in one long block, exhausted from modern life. But after a few weeks, something shifted. Their sleep spontaneously split. They began falling into a first sleep of a few hours, waking for an hour or two of quiet restfulness, then sliding into a second sleep, without anyone telling them to. Without any instruction at all, their bodies simply remembered the old pattern the moment the modern lighting was taken away. That's not folklore. That's a controlled sleep laboratory quietly reproducing a rhythm that vanished from written history over a century earlier. So, what were people actually doing during that gap between sleeps? This is where it gets almost tender. The historical record suggests this middle of the night waking wasn't wasted time. It was some of the most intimate, unhurried time in a person's day. No obligations, no daylight tasks pulling at attention, just the dark, the quiet, and whoever else happened to be awake beside you. Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel has studied sleep patterns in some of the last remaining hunter-gatherer societies on Earth, groups in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia who still live largely without electric light. Siegel's team found that these groups don't universally show the exact two sleeps pattern Ekirch documented in European archives. Their sleep looks different again, shaped by their own environments and traditions. But one thing stood out clearly across all of them. None of them treated nighttime wakefulness as a crisis. None of them lay there anxious about being awake. Waking briefly in the night was simply unremarkable. A normal thread in the fabric of rest. That single detail might be the most important one in this entire story. It's not that ancient humans and pre-industrial humans never woke up at night. Waking is completely normal. Even now, in an 8-hour sleep block, a healthy sleeper drifts near consciousness multiple times without remembering it. What's different is what that waking meant to them. To your ancestors, a quiet stretch of nighttime awareness wasn't a symptom. It wasn't a countdown timer to dread. It was simply another part of the night, no more alarming than a pause in breathing between two long exhales. To you, lying awake at 3 a.m. often feels like failure. Like your body has betrayed you, like tomorrow is already ruined before it starts. But what if the failure isn't in your body? What if the failure is in the expectation? Modern sleep culture treats one unbroken 8-hour block as the only correct way to rest, and anything else as pathology. That expectation is roughly 2 centuries old. Your circadian rhythm, the biological clock regulating your alertness and hormone release, is far, far older than that. Harvard sleep researcher Charles Czeisler has spent decades demonstrating how deeply that internal clock is shaped by light exposure, showing that even brief bursts of bright light at night can shift it by hours. Your ancestors' circadian rhythm was built around firelight and moonlight and true darkness. Yours is built around screens, streetlights, and a bedroom that's never quite black enough. Of course, the pattern shifted. The light around it never stopped shifting first. So the next time you wake at 3 a.m. and your chest tightens with that familiar panic, consider a different story. Not that something is wrong with you, that something ancient is stirring in you. Your ancestors used that hour to talk quietly with the people they loved, to sit with their thoughts undisturbed by daylight's demands, to watch a low fire and let their minds wander somewhere daylight never let them go. You don't have a fire to watch anymore. But the impulse behind that wakefulness, that, strange, undemanding clarity in the middle of the night, might not be something to fix at all. It might be one of the oldest parts of you, quietly showing up, right on schedule, waiting for a world that no longer knows what to do with it. It's 3 a.m. again. Your phone is still face down. But maybe this time, you don't reach for it. Maybe you just lie there in the dark, the way people did for most of human history, and let the old rhythm finish what it came here to do.